Hello, my name is Andrew, and welcome back to another video. Now, before we start, I just want to say I know I missed yesterday's video, but don't worry, I'm still gonna try to get 7 videos up this week. This week has just been really busy for me, but I'm still gonna make sure that I get 7 videos this week. So just wanted to say that quickly. But anyways, today we are reviewing Crankdat's Sad Robot EP that just came out on Monster Cat. And once again, I just want to say that this is not a reaction. This is just a main review. I just kind of want to switch things up, see what works, see what doesn't work. And yeah, so I've already heard the whole EP. And from my experience from Crankdat, I kind of have the unpopular opinion. A lot of people love Crankdat. They love his songs on the label. And for me, I just don't really like his type of style and his type of music that he's got going on. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has some good songs, but I just, for the most part, I find most of them just kind of meh, kind of mediocre, kind of generic sometimes. Sometimes I feel like he kind of makes a track that's kind of a watered down version of the last song he released. Like, the only tracks that he's released on Monster Cat that I like have been Falling and Redo. And when he put out Tell Me, I thought it was a watered down version of Redo. And then when he put out Dark Room, to me it just sounded like a watered down version of Tell Me. But anyways, this is just my opinion. I should probably say this in the beginning. And if you like Crankdat, if you love the CP, that is 100% okay. These are just my thoughts and what I think of the EP overall. So I didn't really expect to get much out of this CP from the other Crankdat songs I've listened to, and in the end, it was just kind of a bland, meh, mediocre EP, but there are 2 good songs that I actually really enjoyed, so to my surprise. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna review the tracks in order, and then I'll say my favorites at the end. So we're just gonna begin with the very first track of the EP, called Wish You Were Here. So, Wish You Were Here is the first track of the Sad Robot EP, and it's alright. It kind of gets repetitive and annoying very quickly, however. The drop tries to be melodic, but it just kind of fails and falls flat for me. Also, it kind of feels like a Who I Am VIP, and I didn't like that track much either. At least it's catchy, kind of. I don't know. I'd give this track a 4.5 out of 10. Next track, Better Without You, featuring JT Roach. So, all right, this is yikes. This is an interesting one. This one kind of sounds like Darkroom's cousin. JT Roach's vocals are all right, but I much rather prefer him in Potions. I would just listen to Potions instead of this track, honestly. The drop is there, somewhat of a letdown. It's not really interesting. It sounds slightly uplifting, and that's it. Nothing that's really. There's nothing really pulling me into this song, so I'm gonna have to give this one a 3 out of 10. So the next track is the collaboration with Ace Aura. This Feeling is the name, and I love Ace Aura. And right before I play this track, I'm like, oh, please let this be a good track. It's gonna be so disappointing if an Ace Aura song is bad. So I listen to it, and cool intro, and then the drop comes, and it's actually really creative. And I really hear Ace Aura, and it's good. It sounds good. I like it. I hear kind of ideas mainly from both artists in the first drop, but the second drop is even better. The more the more Ace Aura influence, the merrier. The vocals are there. They aren't bad. That's kind of the thing. I feel like the vocals that Crankdat uses in his tracks just kind of feel like filler. They're just kind of put there because they're there, not really. That's just kind of my main opinion. And I mean, I don't hate the vocals, I don't hate the vocal samples. I just don't really see the reason why they're there, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I just don't see the point of them being in this track. The last drop is similar to the first, but it's a bit better. I give this a 9 out of 10, straight to my playlist. Next track, What It Feels Like, featuring KC. Decent vocals. Another song where I just don't see them fitting in, however, but they're alright. The first drop is not that bad. I was actually surprised. So far, when I was listening to this, it sounded like a bop. And then the second half of the first drop came in. It just felt like a breath of fresh air with those like extra layers of synths and melodies. I really like it when artists take like the same drop and then they just add a little layer of like melody up top. It just always works, and it's just such a good idea. It's just such a creative way of engaging your audience into your song. So the next drop came. There was a fake out, which surprised me, kind of a stuttery fake out, and then it kind of switched up into like trap. I think it's trap, and it was very unexpected, and I actually really liked it, because from the past songs, even the songs that I like Falling and Redo that I was talking about earlier, um, they just felt like I just feel like the last, like, how do I say this, like, the past songs with the switch ups and like the change of second drops, in Crankdat's past songs just haven't really been my thing. Like even Falling and Redo, the songs that I like, where it just made me feel like, I don't know if this really works as a good switch up, but in this, it does, and I love it. So this is a 9 out of 10 as well. I don't know which is my favorite, really, this feeling or what it feels like. I'm still kind of in the middle with which track would be my favorite, but they're both good. And last but not least, we get to the last track, Higher, which isn't a horrible way to end the EP. It's just a meh, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Um the Higher kind of sounds like Redo and Falling, and I just got to say this. Um I swear Crankdat used like the same buildup in like every track. Maybe that's kind of an exaggeration, but I've heard like the same buildup in like half of this EP, and it just got annoying really quickly, especially at the last track. When I heard that buildup, I was like, oh my gosh, I was just kind of tired of it. It was getting really annoying. I mean, More Kismet uses like that same buildup in their songs. They've done it a couple times, but like they know how to make it interesting, you know? This just feels like Crankdat's just copying and pasting, and I just don't really want to hear a pew 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 build up ever again after that. The vocals in this actually sound like that they belong on the track, so that's good. Reminds me of the vocals also remind me of Redo. Decent glitchy melodic drop. I actually really like the trying to be melodic and heavy at the same time approach, and I think it does it all right here. There's a good bridge. There's nice drums. In the next drop, I kind of hear some Oliver's influence. I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of feels like as if like this was like co-produced by Oliver's, or if this could have been like an Oliver's or Crankdat collab. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. And overall, this is a decent track. I give it a 7 out of 10. It may grow on me later. It wasn't a bad way to end the EP, but overall, I didn't expect to get much out of this EP in the first place, and I didn't. And yeah, I was about to say 2 out of 5 ain't bad, but that's 40%, which isn't very good. Overall, I give this EP a 6.5 out of 10. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you thought of the EP down in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you agree with me? What did you disagree with me? What were your favorites from here? And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.